Hi everybody, this is my first ever video blog. I decided I don't really like taking videos, so it might be my last one as well. But I thought that I'd do a video just in case, you know, anybody wanted to hear the sound of my voice again. I personally do not, but I thought I'd do this anyway, just for fun. I've been in Nepal now for about 1 month, a bit more, and I've been working in Aranoko secondary school in a little village called Pokwichori, which most people have never heard of, even the people that live in Nepal. It was amazing. I don't really like summing experiences that have lasted a month up in a few words because it's sort of impossible. But you know, it's a once in a lifetime experience, or maybe twice. You know, you might go back. I might go back, I don't know. But it was a sort of eye-opener in a lot of respects, and I think it was a really sort of good thing to do for me, and I think it's a good thing to sort of let other people know about my experience there, because they might want to go out and do something similar, and I think the school could do with a lot of help. So I'd encourage people to go out and help them as well. I started my time there at the beginning of September. That's sort of like the busiest time in English school, and it's sort of like the quietest time in Nepalese school. They've got exams on, so they were just doing revision lessons, which was pretty boring for me. I sort of watched a few, and then I got to sort of help after being there for a couple of days, and yeah, it was just sort of boring. Revision lessons are just boring. It doesn't matter if you teach English or science, it's just like going over stuff they already know. But I tried to make it a bit more fun. And after a while there, we had, after the exams were over, we just had fun lessons, because it's like the time before their holiday. So I just ended up drawing lots of pictures of animals and making up little cartoon stories, and then practicing pronunciation, which is always funny because they can't say sh or th. So I just made them make weird noises a lot. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, the lesson structure and the way that the teachers work and what they do is very similar to what you get in sort of English schools, and they sort of recap the lesson and stuff like that. But there's like the most striking difference is probably the sort of lack of resources, and the kind of conditions that they're living in or working in are just so beyond what you'd ever expect in England. You know, they've just got sort of plain brick, well, stone buildings with corrugated iron roofs, and some people might have seen pictures of posted on Facebook of it, and just blackboard and chalk. They don't have any sort of interactive whiteboards or anything like that, so completely different from what you get in England. But the whole sort of the structure of the lesson, the sort of recapping past work and sort of moving on from that, and it's all sort of the same, and the way the teacher sort of questions the class. I suppose another difference is that they beat children out there, which shocked me a bit at first, which I was surprised at, because, you know, I thought about it often enough, but yeah, they like proper whack them on the back, or like the kids sometimes try and get away, so the teachers might like pull their hair or like twist their ear or something. It was quite funny. Yeah, the kids didn't seem to like it very much, but they sort of laughed it off afterwards, so I think it was okay. But yeah, I think another difference is like quite a lot of the kids have a different attitude to work, so they all recognise the importance of their education and the fact that it could get them out of the poverty that they're sort of in, and they don't want to sort of stay maybe working on the farm for their whole life. So they take a more sort of active approach to their education, and are speaking to the people that I live with, and they just go home and do extra work. They wouldn't have homework as such. Well, they'd do their homework, but like they'd work more than that as well, which I thought was, wow, quite different, quite refreshing. So that was interesting to see, and I think it's something that I think if any students wanted to go out there and sort of have a look, maybe it would give them a different view on education as well. doesn't stop the children cheating in exams though. I invigilated a lot of exams, and in the end I ended up being one of the most feared teachers because I didn't laugh about it. I just sort of like took whatever it was and threw it away. They don't get like chucked out of exams for cheating, so it was sort of rampant. Every exam was like everybody, like literally they'd have books in their pockets and they were all searched before the exam, and then you'd still find bits of paper popping up all over the place, and it was just, I just couldn't believe that these were like, some of them were taking their final exams and there was this much cheating going on. It was like literally every student would have cheated at least once. And yeah, just shocking. But I suppose like their whole way of life is completely different. You know, they don't go home and like squander their time on computer games instead of revising. They have to go home and then help their parents on the farm because otherwise they won't have food. So I can sort of like sympathise with them a bit more than kids back in England who would cheat in exams and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it was just a lot of fun, and it was really nice sort of getting to know some of the local children and just sort of like speaking with them. Mostly they were helping me with my Nepali, which is still appalling, but you know, I've got 2 more months to learn. I'm going to spend the next month working in an orphanage in Kathmandu, but I don't know anything about that or what I'm doing or where it is or what it's called. I just know that I need to speak to a lady called Renu, and hopefully I'll post something else on my blog about that. I decided not to go to my second school placement in this other village. I can't even remember what it was. Because after spending 1 month in Pokrichori, I thought it's not really enough to be able to make a difference, and I think if anyone was going to go out and do volunteer work, they should consider doing it for at least 3 months. I think because by 1 month you've sort of got to know your family, you've got to know the people there, and you've started to build up that sort of relationship that sort of works for working. But I sort of felt like I was leaving at a time when I needed to carry on, but they had festival season for a month and then they go back to school, but in that time I want to be doing something different. I want to explore a bit of Nepal, so I'm going to do that instead. And then I head off to India. I've posted some information about the charity that I've been sort of that found all these placements for me, called Rural Assistance Nepal, and I think if anybody wanted to raise money for this school, perhaps for helping it build a library, because it doesn't have any libraries, or sending computers or something like that, because they've only got 1 computer and it doesn't work. So if there's any like spare school computers going, maybe we could like send some or something. But I think it would be best to do it through Rural Assistance Nepal rather than direct with the school, just because it's a sort of registered charity, and I've met Marianne, who sort of runs the charity, and she's just, you know, amazing what she's doing really. She's got medics working in different parts of the country as well, and she has teachers working in different parts, and I'm going to go off and help in this orphanage, and it's all thanks to her really just organising everything. So I think it would be a really good idea to sort of work with her on this as well, and she can make sure that the stuff gets to where it's supposed to be going. Yeah, and that's about it really. I'll keep everybody posted, and I hope everyone's having fun in England. Bye!